And hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos, and today we will be continuing the raid series for Shadowbringers with Eden Part 2. This is the set of raids that came out with 5.2, so it makes sense that we at least get through this much. I have a feeling the way the narrative is going that with 5.3 things are going to get a little different. If you consider the past with Shadowbringers, not Shadowbringers, with Stormblood and Helmswood before that, the X.3, in this case, 5.3 is going to see the end of the Shadowbringers MSQ before we go into pre-patch for Endwalker, the current expansion at the time of this recording. So it makes sense that we get through this set of quests. If you like what you see at any point, please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells. And let me know what you like or don't like. So without further ado, let us get into the raid series. Away with the Ferry. Yalford has arrived in Motsuk bearing pertinent information. Ah, there you are. I'm part of the team helping with the highly classified and very, very secret thing. The fact of the matter is, I've come to inform you of a rather interesting development. It's about the girl who was brought back from the empty. She's finally woken up, you see. Yalfart, and Myrokos too. Irene. We heard the news from Thancred. Is it true? Why, yes, it most certainly is. Apparently, her name is Gaia. She claims to be a free citizen of Yulmore, although she remembers nothing of the events leading up to her attack on Eden. She's lost her memory. Parts of it, at the very least. We also cannot be sure whether she's telling the truth or if it's merely a ruse. She's yet to display any hostility, which is encouraging, I suppose. And Thancred's with her now, is he? Yes, he's taken her to Yulmore mainly to verify what she's told us so far. Quiz the locals, that sort of thing. After that, the plan is to come back here. Though they're taking rather longer than I'd anticipated, I do hope nothing is amiss. Good grief, are you always this slow? Huh? At this rate, it'll be dark again before we know it. The night sky returning is all well and good, but it does make each day seem awfully short. Are you still dragging your heels back there? At least act as if you've got a purpose, would you? Someone's bossy. Now look here, I'm not one of your servants. Why don't you try carrying your own luggage for a change? That's luggage. Thancred, you're back. You lot are a sight for sore eyes. Yes, even you, Uriange. Guy and I have just finished the shipping her personal effects from Yulmore. I'm glad we could finally meet. Properly, I mean. So, did you learn anything useful? Other than where she lives, not an awful lot. Her supposed neighbors barely knew the first thing about her. Well, given how oblivious those people were under Vol 3, I'm surprised they knew anything. Hell, she barely knows the first thing about her. Her recollection of her life in Yulmar is patchy at best. But she seems convinced that she'll regain her memory if she accompanies us, so she invited herself to join our merry band. And for her first act, she ordered me to carry her luggage. If you insist on standing around talking, might I suggest finding a place to sit down first? My feet are killing me. You're the one who chose to wear high heels. Then perhaps you should have chosen more sensible footwear. Still, it's not such a bad idea, shall we? Mm-hmm. Huh. Well, I've given you my early impression of Gaia. I would be interested in hearing your opinion. Go on, talk to her and see what you make of her situation. I've got so many things I want to ask, but I probably shouldn't bombard her with questions. Amnesia, 'tis troubling though not entirely unexpected. So you don't remember anything at all? Not attacking us, not falling unconscious. Such selective amnesia would rightly raise suspicion within those of a cautious mind. Yet, if she doth speak the truth, it would lend credence to my current hypothesis, though admittedly some further... Not now, Arianje, she's only just woken up. We don't want to bore her back to sleep. In any case, I prefer to follow my instincts. And they're telling me that Gaia means us no harm. After much deliberation, I thought it only right to let her know about our work in the empty, as a sign of goodwill. After all, trust works both ways. Though I would ask you, Myrokos, not to let your guard down just yet. So you're the one I'm supposed to have fought. Come to think of it, I recognize you from somewhere. Maybe I just have one of those faces, so you should, considering you tried to kill me. Well, if Tancred's version of events is anything to go by, you weren't exactly holding back yourself. Still, it seems I didn't give you much of a choice but to defend yourself, so let's call it even. Not that I have any recollection of it. It's like remembering fragments of a dream, only to realize those things actually happened. It's as though my whole life has been leading to this. Thou speakest as though thou didst expect these events. I guess you could say that. It's what the fairy tells me. I can't see it, but it's as though there's someone else inside me, and I can hear its voice in my head. It whispers to me and lets me use its power. Magic, I suppose you could call it. Not that I know much about that sort of thing. And this power alloweth thee to tear open the fabric betwixt realities, that thou mayest call forth the ether-starved denizens of what remaineth of the 13th. What? What, was that supposed to mean something, or are you just spouting random words at me? Whoops. Honestly, I don't know how you all put up with this. I've only just met him, and his insufferable prattle is already giving me a headache. It gives all of us a headache. He speaks like this all the time, just go with it. Gods, I still can't believe I'm having this conversation, and to think that I was, flying about in a suit of armor, waving a sword. That doesn't sound like me at all. Someone else inside you. Like Minfilia was inside me. Aye, the similarities cannot be ignored, though it is too early to say with certainty Gaia may well be the Oracle of Darkness. The Oracle of Darkness? What does this mean? It means that you may have been right when you said she has something in common with him itself. Those who have been used as a living host by an Ascian have no recollection of events that occurred during their possession. This I know from personal experience. But Gaia seems to have some memories still, even if they're a little hazy. Moreover, she has remained in control of herself, even when she heard the voice within, much like you and Minfilia. And the Reem was very much her own person. Minfilia's presence did exert a change upon her outward appearance, granting her hair and eyes a hue akin to that of our dear departed friend. It is therefore not unthinkable that Gaia's raven locks may be a manifestation of the darkness which hath come to reside within her. But I was born like this, and my parents, they both had black hair too. Or at least I think they did. It's been so long since I saw them. I can't remember too well. But enough about me. You're Minfilia, aren't you? The Oracle of Light, who they were hosting in Yulemore? Hosting? That's being polite about it. That's right, though imprisoning is a better word. They kept me locked away and I didn't know much about Yulemore and its people, or the rest of the world for that matter. I see, and how exactly did the Oracle of Light come to run with the Warrior of Darkness? Well, it all started when... Yes, I remember. I still remember the day everyone went raving mad and Lord Rothbury fled. Everything after that is still a blur, though. So she was there in Yulmore when we raided it and drove him off. But then somehow came to be connected with Eden? That's rather odd. From what guys told me, she wasn't part of the mob that attacked us, but how was she able to resist Valthry's control? Mayhap 'twas the invention of this the intervention of this fairy, of whom she speaketh. As curious as that may be, we still don't know why she appeared out of nowhere as soon as Eden took flight. This is just a guess, but I'd say that the fairy reacted to it in some way and for whatever reason made me go after it. Yes, that seems like the only explanation. I don't know about you lot, but I've had enough nattering. I'm going back to Eden. What? But why? The fairy wanted something from Eden, and knowing what that is will bring me a step closer to discovering exactly what has been living in my head all these years. Besides, my memories aren't going to restore themselves, and certainly not through idle chit-chat. So I'm going, and that's that. Gaia, wait! Insufferable, utterly insufferable, and yet we can't well leave her to her own devices. Come on. Oh. She can't have gone far, especially not in those heels. Get away from me! Uh-oh. Oh, just a bug. Gaia! It seems I've no choice. What am I? I'm not entirely sure what I just witnessed, but I'm glad she's unharmed. A most fascinating application of ethereal manipulation, the destructive blast did manifest a significant span of time after the initial casting. With sufficient mastery of such a technique, a second spell could be made to smite the target at precisely the same moment. While it would demand exceptional ethereal control, its tactical potential cannot be denied. Powers befitting the Oracle of Darkness. When you fought Gaia, she opened void gates, yes? Back in the source, portals such as those were all too common, but tearing open the veil between the 1st and the 13th is a different matter entirely. We should be thankful that she's not of a mind to turn that power against us. For now. Yeah. What are you all gawping at? I don't mean to stare, but it's not every day I see magic like that. So this is the power of the fairy you spoke of? Ever since I was a child, it has whispered to me, telling me what to do. That's how I came to use its power. But there are things that I can't even explain. Holes ripped in thin air, terrifying creatures crawling out, ghastly looking blades and armor appearing out of nowhere. But worst of all is the dark energy that comes from inside. This power, it feels as though it's only flowing through me and never truly mine. And even when it answers my call, it always takes a few moments for the spells to work. So in summary, you don't have control over the magic. Well, it's not as if I've ever tried to control it. I haven't made a habit of fighting wild beasts. Unfortunately, it's part and parcel of traveling through Almarang, and while I understand that you want answers, you're not going to find them unprepared as you are, but if your heart is set on this, then we'll help you. Reen, think about what you're saying. You're seriously considering taking Gaia to see Eden? There's no telling what might happen if she loses control again, so the safest option is for her to stay away until our work is done. Somewhere we can keep an eye on her. You must realize it's for her own good. I must concur with Thancred's assessment. At present, we know little of Gaia's origin and less still of her powers. If she is indeed the Oracle of Darkness, her presence may complicate a task already fraught with peril, placing our mission and her own well-being in jeopardy. In full knowledge of the risks, dost thou still wish to pursue this course? I do. It wasn't long ago that I was living in isolation, being held against my will. Maybe the people keeping an eye on me thought that was for my own good too. But if we shut Gaia away for our own convenience, we're no better than Vothri and Ranjit. I've learned that when someone is in need, we must reach out a helping hand, not push them away. Now it's my turn to do for Gaia what you've all done for me. Even knowing the danger that lies ahead, I won't choose the easy way out. This is the path I've chosen. Is that good enough for you? Well, can't say fairer than that. How about you, Urianger? The light of thy spirit doth burn bright. Mine apologies, my dear, but we felt it necessary to test thy resolve. Let it suffice to say that thou have left no room for doubt. For what it's worth, Reen, I never doubted you. But make no mistake, the danger that Ariane spoke of, and I spoke of is all too real. If you're prepared to go through with this, we'll be right there beside you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. I couldn't care less who I traveled with, but if we're going to go, then let's get going already. There's supposed to be some sort of craft waiting at the southern watchtower, yes? Come along then, and don't fall behind. And off they go. No, I don't have the armor that gives the horn. Huh. I need to get that. Though our stance hath changed, our mission most assuredly hath not. Restoring life to the empty remaineth our primary objective. Of course, I'm worried about what may happen when Gaia gets close to Eden. We'll keep a close eye on her, make sure she's alright. Why couldn't you leave this craft in Mortsuk instead of all the way out here? Actually, don't bother explaining. Whatever the reason is, I'm sure it's something frightfully uninteresting. Let's be about it then, shall we? It might be a bit of a tight squeeze with the 5 of us, but we'll manage. Perhaps Ariandre can sit on top of our luggage. Depart for the empty. As usual, we should keep our sojourn here as brief as possible. Let's tend to business quickly. Nope, already read that. Everything seems fine here as far as I can tell. As for Gaia, she hasn't started attacking anything yet, so I'll take that as a good sign. I'd hoped that during our absence, the rebalancing of ambient ether might work further change. Alas, 'twas not to be. Yeah, it looks identical, although that's no longer looking like slurry. This actually looks like water. So I wouldn't say there's nothing. I mean, this thing looked just completely dark blue. You can see the texture of the earth, so I guess that's a plus. Alright, Gaia, any thoughts? So, there it is. Cutscene. Eden, where we'll find the answers I seek. The bringer of the flood, the first sin eater. Would it lead me to my past or my future? I'm guessing she's thinking this. What awaited on the path ahead, I couldn't say, but I had no choice but to take the first step. The path ahead, I couldn't say. Is this an inner monologue? Is she thinking this, or is this like some sort of journey later? Or journal entry later? Or could this be the fairy? But then why is she speaking in the past tense? Okay. Blood and thunder. Gaia has is lost in thought as she gazes towards the silent giant on the horizon. I know what it's like. It was the same for me. But I was lucky because I had Thancred freed me from Yulmore, and I had a chance to see the world. More importantly, though, I met all kinds of people, and they taught me not to live in another's shadow, to be myself. Maybe one day you'll have that chance too. Said your piece, have you? One day. What's that supposed to mean? I don't know how the great Oracle of Light sees such things. But for someone like me, who's only known life in Yulmore, there was no tomorrow. There was no future. Only the here and now. And while we waste time on these meaningless conversations, I feel each moment of my life slipping away. Time. It won't wait. Not for me, not for anyone. I don't know how much longer I can hold on to who I am. I'm sorry, Gaia. Gaia? That's probably not even my real name. It isn't? When Thancred asked me my name, I couldn't remember. That's when the fairy whispered to me, Gaia. But if you grew up in Yulmore, surely someone there must know who you are. Everyone I once knew had either disappeared or had been turned into sin-eaters. Those whose faces and names I still remember, that is. In the end, we found not a single person who so much as recognized me. As far as I can recall, I've never been the most sociable person, but still. Well, even if it's not your real name, I think Gaia sounds lovely. If you're happy with it, then that's what I'll call you. And if you're willing, instead of the Oracle of Light, please call me Reen. It's not the name I was born with, that's long forgotten now, but the one the people whom I consider family gave to me. Is that so? Well, as much as I'd love to keep up this chatting, there's something that's bothering me. I thought the fairy would have reacted to Eden in some way, but so far, nothing whatsoever. From what I gather, it wasn't until Eden started moving that I appeared out of the blue. Yep, that sounds about right. Perhaps if you were to actually try flying it somewhere, the fairy might break its silence. If you've got elements to restore or whatever it was, why don't you hurry up and get it over with? At once, your ladyship, you need to learn some manners. She needs to learn some manners. And you need to stop wasting my time. Alright everyone, I think we've talked for long enough. If you're ready, let's make our way to Eden. Reen's little chat with Gaia reminded me that, for all our obvious differences, there are things we have in common. I, too, grew up not knowing who my parents were. The day Louisoix gave me the surname Waters was one I'll never forget. Years later, it was under rather more desperate circumstances that I gave a certain young girl the name Minfilia. Little did I know that it would end up crossing time and space, taking on a meaning I could never have foreseen. It came to be passed on to one girl after another, binding them to a fate not their own. In a sense, it may be said that I chose not only one but two names for Reen, but by whatever name she is called, she's truly her own person now. That she is. As central to our lives as names are, I believe that it isn't the name itself, but the bonds that it symbolizes that matter most. Alright. I've done some reading about the lands swallowed up by the flood, but it's no easy task to find locations with a dominant element. I'm glad we have Ariange to point us in the right direction. My memories. I think they're slowly coming back to me. My mother and father would constantly blather about how the flood of light could return to end the world when we least expect it, and that we should live each day as though it were our last. They would often say, I wish this moment would last forever. That was until they were selected for Ascension by Lord Vothri and were never to be seen again. Since I had no other relatives or even any close friends to speak of, I was left alone in the world. A past like that hardly seems worth remembering, does it? No. Following the initial changes wrought by the release of water and earth, the empty hath displayed no further signs of alteration. Stability, some may call this, and be satisfied, but in truth it is passivity, a passivity stemming from light's ever-pervasive presence. If we are to break the status quo, we must needs employ a catalyst, a third element that shall ruse and stabilize those unleashed energies in activity. Therefore, I propose lightning. So the primal will be Ramu, yes? From what I've heard, he's a guardian of the forest and not particularly keen on conflict, but you've actually fought him, haven't you? He's half man, half beard, and another half beard for good measure. I spent most of the time chasing after orbs with varying degrees of success. Ah yes, Thancred mentioned he more closely resembles a person than a beast, unlike most other primals, and apparently he tends to move about much. I'm glad to see our lessons have paid off. Well, it's like you say, if we want to call forth an accurate representation of the primal, I should picture it in my mind as clearly as possible. At the very least, it's worth a try, but the rest is up to Myrokos, okay? In order for this to work, we need to actually fly somewhere, yes? So rather than sitting in one spot while you exchange anecdotes, why don't you get this blasted thing moving first? One must admit the suggestion is not without merit. Reen might I suggest the Gandalf Thunder Plains as our next location. These plains, it is writ, were perpetually blanketed in storm clouds. The only source of illumination, the ceaseless barrage of lightning. The ambient ether that lingereth there shall provide ideal conditions for the summoning. then that's where we're heading. Come on, Eden, we've got a job to do. This should be as good a spot as any. Alright, Myrokos, whenever you're ready. Memories of Ramu flash through your mind. As usual, this may take a little while, so if you need to get up and stretch your legs, do so now. Well, let's see what the flavor text has to say while we wait. I don't think I've ever been anywhere like this before, and I'm not sure I'd want to come back. Would be nice if our destination is a little cheerier, but I suppose I can't exactly choose if I want answers. The area is saturated with lightning aspected ether. This I am able to confirm. In addition to the primal, be that wary of stray bolts that may occur as a result of our activity. All the lightning that's fallen here over the years has left the ground covered in craters. But don't worry, Eden will give you something more even to stand on. Even if Reen has done a good job of memorizing my description of Ramu, it will likely make little difference to how he manifests. After all, it's your memories that shape the summering, not hers. Yeah. That it is. And here we go.
There's no turning back. Get ready!
Wait, there are structures here? There's structures in the background. Does that mean people live here? Not that you'd really want to, but...
So, this is Ramu.
Okay, it's very similar to the original ramen music, but the extra rock stuff actually is good. Oh. I only got one. The thing? Okay, well, at least it was a ring. Huh. So that thing was created based on your memories? Maybe there's a way we can use Eden to summon the fairy like that. Once again, 'twas a most superlative display of thy puissance. Now I could not fail but notice that body did resemble the Ixion. That body did belong to Ixion, fabled equine embodiment of lightning. Hast thou perchance encountered the beast? I think maybe in a trial, not a trial of fate of some sort, or a hunt mark, whatever. I had my eye on Guy the entire time you were fighting Ramu. And besides the sort of reaction you might expect from someone watching you take on a half-man, half-flying horse thunder god, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. The fact that Eden itself also showed no signs of being affected by her presence can only be a good thing, but I'd understand if Gaia herself were more than a little disappointed that she's no closer to the answers she seeks. I thought I was prepared to expect anything, but I didn't expect Ramu to turn out quite like that. Appearance aside, he was quite aggressive as well. The self-belief in him as a kindly guardian clearly clearly makes a difference to his temperament. Anyway, I'm just glad it's over. Let's get back to the camp and see if anything has changed. The crystal's the different color, but apart from that, it all looks the same. It may look the same but it feels different. The air has grown slightly more humid, as it does before rain. I have to say I'm not exactly prepared for wet weather. If Eden can control the elements and so on, can't you tell it to send those clouds somewhere else? Speaking of which, I'm not very impressed with its so-called powers. If changing yellow crystals to purple is the extent of its abilities, it's no surprise the fairy didn't bother showing up. I hope that whatever's next is more worthwhile. Rather than influencing the ground beneath our feet, Eden hath brought change to the firmament above. And yet, 'tis clear that a more dynamic element is required for the natural cycle of precipitation and evaporation to complete. So we need movement. Would wind do the trick? Most certainly. Garuda, lovely. It seems we have a plan. Let's not dwell too much on the effects of each individual element and instead focus on seeing them all restored. The power of an oracle, not to be sniffed at, it seems. All my life, you were a constant companion, your voice ever seeping into my mind. Why then, of all times, did you abandon me? Okay, so it's clearly Gaia inner monologuing an inner thought. Okay. Deaf even to the crashing of thunder, or were you simply biding your time? Nighttime. One plan fails to achieve the desired effect, so you move on to the next with minimal brooding and prattling. It seems we're finally learning. I'm not sure what I was expecting to see after restoring the lightning element, but I did feel a little disheartened. Still, as Thancred and Ariange say, there are changes taking place, even if they're not immediately obvious. As much as I bemoan Ariange's long-winded explanations, we'd be lost without him to take care of all the ethereal science. And whatnot. Obviously, I'm quite sparring with my praise, as I wouldn't want it to go to his head. Into the Firestone. Wait, I thought we wanted wind. Oh no, we're doing two at once? We're doing two at once. That's the only thing I can think of here. Ariange's knitted brow almost certainly spells trouble, namely for you. Ere we set out once more, might I ask if thou art familiar with the process by which rain is made to fall? I suppose so. It's an Allegan conspiracy. It's an Allegan conspiracy, and that's too rich. It certainly would not be beyond the Allegans to manipulate the weather, if such is thy suggestion, but it is of naturally occurring phenomena that I would speak. With the restoration of our first element, the empty was once more blessed with the most essential ingredient in the cycle of precipitation: water. Under normal circumstances, the heat existent in the atmosphere would cause water to evaporate from the land's surface. As invisible vapor, it is borne by the wind high unto the firmament, where it doth condense as clouds before descending once more, returning to the land in the form of rain. It seems we need wind-aspected ether to create more clouds. That it hasn't rained yet must mean there aren't enough. And even before that, we need fire-aspected ether to make the water evaporate. It seems to me that one's not much good without the other. Why don't you just draw both elements together? You're suggesting that Myrokos fight two deiform entities, each one as deadly as Ramu at the same time. Do you realize how absurd that is? And yet, 'tis a notion that doth warrant further consideration. Oh, you can't be serious. Cast your minds, if you will, to the elemental wheel I did show you in the bookman's shelves. Wind giveth rise to lightning, whose spark doth produce fire. By restoring both wind and fire in tandem, we may maintain balance between these dynamic elemental forces. The ensuing battle shall indubitably present an ordeal unlike any Myrokos hath ever faced. I believe, however, this path doth lead to the prize we seek. We've done water, earth, and now lightning. That would get all 6 done. Oh, so perhaps it's not so absurd after all. Thancred. I wouldn't dream of questioning Orionje's grasp of the science behind it. My concern is for the burden this world the burden this would place not only on Myrokos but Reen as well. What do you both make of the plan? If Orionje thinks it'll work, I'm willing to give it a try. As long as you know what you're letting yourselves in for, you're going to need all your strength, so see that you get plenty of rest. Gaia. I'd rather Ring keep her mind on our work here than worry about Gaia. Mind you, it might be better for them to clear the air before we go any further. I have selected a location in which wind and fire aspected ether lie dormant, though I shall wait until Reen hath completed her preparations ere I dispense with the particulars. I can't stand all of this waiting around. Having grown up in Yulmore, I'm used to only living for the moment. We never had any reason to concern ourselves with later, tomorrow, the future, and so on. Those things simply didn't matter. But after Lord Vothray disappeared and the night returned, everyone in Yulmore started thinking differently. I was only there for a short time with Thancred, and I couldn't believe how much it had changed. It was almost as though under Lord Vothray's rule, time had stopped moving altogether, and when it ended, life went back to how it was supposed to have been. They realized they had their whole lives ahead of them to make plans and look forward to a new day. It feels like I'm the only one who can't move on, as if I'm stuck in the past. What's worse, I can barely remember any of it. Even so, I can't stand the way they act as if the past never happened, choosing to forget it all. Okay, so she's more unnerved by Yulmore than anything. Uh-oh, she's thinking. It seems Reen is reluctant to air her concerns. Were you to rally her spirits, she might be more willing to talk. Yes, you're right. There's no use trying to pilot Eden while I've got other things on my mind. It's about Gaia, you see. The truth is that apart from Alize and Alphino, I hardly know anyone my own age. I thought that I should make an effort to be nice to Gaia, but, well, you've seen how she is around me. I understand that she's got her own problems to deal with, but I thought that maybe I could help her in some way. It's not my place to intrude, and I should probably just leave her be until we finished restoring the elements. After all, that's more important, isn't it? Let me talk to Gaia while you concentrate on the task at hand. Is what I would have said once upon a time. It seems to me that you're the one best qualified to take care of this little problem. I know she can be a bit prickly, to put it mildly, but if anyone can get through to her, it's you. Although we've only known her for a short while, we're all she's got, and I think she realizes that. Just let her know she's not alone and she'll come around eventually. Alright, I'll give it a try. Do you have any advice? Tancred certainly has the gift of gab. He'll know what to say. Orianji can talk the hind legs off a behemoth. Why not ask him? I'm afraid that since arriving in the first, I've had little time to mingle with any of the locals, and I haven't a clue what young women like Gaia would be interested in. And Orianji spent his time with the fairies. That's not much help either. Ah, that's given me an idea. I'll start with some small talk and go from there. Actually, since before she even woke up, I've been asking Lena about what's popular in the Crystarium. I thought it might be nice to show Gaia around the place one day, you see? So that's what you were doing. I suppose it makes for a nice change of pace from all that studying. And I must commend thee on thy choice of confidant. The captain's powers of observation maketh her a veritable font of wisdom concerning the behavior of the Crystarium's citizenry. Yes, and now it's time to put that knowledge to good use. Don't let the fear of rejection hold you back. Persistence is the key. Speaking from experience, by any chance? Whatever do you mean? Lessons learned from days spent in pursuit of ladies fair, one might suspect. You couldn't help yourself, could you? That's alright, Thancred. Your secret's safe with me. May I remind you that the reason we're here is to create a better future for everyone in the First, which includes you and Gaia. While it might not be the same, be on the same scale as bringing life back to the empty, if you're able to befriend her, that will be another way of contributing to a brighter tomorrow. So go on, she's waiting for you. Alright, wish me luck. Rena is ready to approach the decidedly unapproachable Gaia. You had best observe the conversation from within earshot. But I have cat ears, can't I pick it up from here? Thancred might have taken on the role of Rena's surrogate father, but I have, of late become something of a mentor to her, though largely in instilling what knowledge I can of the ethereal sciences. A more attentive student thou shalt seldom find. It's when Rena and I face our problems together that it truly feels like we're family. Or at least what I imagine it would be like. I suppose we both grew up without our birth parents to guide us, but I think we turned out rather well, given the circumstances. I wonder if this is the kind of bond that Flamine shared with Minfilia. She looks like she's got a lot on her mind. Maybe now's not such a good time. Instead of bothering me when I'm obviously not in the mood to talk, why don't you go back to work? Oh boy. Okay. Oh, and I'm doing exercises, just keeping myself busy. What do you want? Oh, nothing really. It can wait till later. For all we know, there might not even be a later. If you got something to say, hurry up and spit it out. Is everything alright? Not feeling strange from being around Eden or anything? Is that what you came here to talk about? Actually, I wanted to ask you... Would you like to go and have coffee biscuits with me? What? Coffee biscuits. They serve them at the second serving in the Crystarium. Everyone's talking about them, so I thought that maybe once we finished our work here, you and I could go there together. Let me get this straight. You came to talk to me about biscuits? Yes, they're light and crispy, and when you dip them in coffee, they go all nice and squidgy. The only reason you're even interested in that in the first place is because everyone else is doing it. Can't you think for yourself? I do what I want when I want. After all, the world could end at any moment. That's not going to happen. Not if I've got anything to do with it. Listen, Gaia, I understand what you're going through. Believe me, I do, but you mustn't lose hope. A new day will come, then another and another. Life's not so bad if you give it a chance. You'll see. Shut up. You think you know me? Even I don't know who I am. Until I find the truth, I'll never be free. Then we'll find it together. I've seen enough pain, enough loss, and I don't want to see any more. And that includes you, Gaia. Why do you care so much about other people? What have they ever done for you? I'm sure you haven't forgotten how we, your Morans, treated you, the precious Oracle of Light, like a bird in a cage. And yet you act as if none of that ever happened. So forgiving, so selfless. You and your family brought back the night sky, and you finally had the chance to lead a normal life, but instead you're flying around in a giant Sin Eater trying to turn a barren wasteland into some sort of paradise. And for what? I may not remember much of my past, but I'm fairly certain I've never heard of anything so ridiculous. Out of morbid curiosity, I'll see it through to the end, but if you think that makes us friends, you are very much mistaken. Gaia. Oh dear. I surmise that to keep Gaia waiting over long would only agitate her further. I wonder how you make an in-game environment feel humid. Beyond describing it as such. Not you as well. Look, I've had enough small talk to last a lifetime. So don't even bother. I believe you have a job to do. Yes? Then be quick about it. Reen's looking a bit down in the doldrums, but you let me worry about that. We can't allow anything to interfere with whatever goes on in your mind, when summoning those primals. I think we've both rested for long enough. Let's get started, shall we? I hope it all goes according to plan. To defeat the deiform manifestations of both wind and fire, shall require every last mote of thy strength. That thou hast triumphed over such beings in previous encounters should be at the forefront of thy mind as we commence the summoning. Where are we going this time, Marianche? The place called Ashfall doth satisfy our requirements, I believe. The fables speak of travelers sweltering beneath the blazing heat of the midday sun, while after nightfall slicing winds did tear at their cloaks. I see. Hopefully it won't be quite that bad when I draw out the elements. Reen, my dear, may I remind thee that to focus is not the same as to deny other thoughts. Whatsoever it is that troubleth thee, thou wouldst be better for acknowledging it. Yes, you're right, of course. It's Gaia that I'm worried about. That is well. May thy concern for her lend thee yet more strength. It's time I'll begin drawing out wind and fire in equal measure. Myrokos will only get one chance at this, so let's make it count. Memories of Garuda and Ifrit rage through your mind. How long has it been since our encounter with Ifrit and his Amalja followers? Good question. My studies indicate that no equivalent of Garuda's servant, the Exile, are present here on the first. My hypothesis as to the reason why can perhaps wait till another time. I wonder what sort of hellish beasts you've conjured up this time. If we summon two primals at once, maybe they'll fight each other. That way you'll only need to beat the one left standing, but I suppose it defeats the purpose of it if you don't take them both down at the same time. True. Okay, here we go. 2 on 1. Or 2 on 8, but whatever.
It worked! Both wind and fire have answered the call! Reed, are you alright?
Wait, I thought Gaia wasn't interested. Huh. Just follow the group. When in doubt, follow the group. Oh. Interesting. Bit of a hectic fight, but interesting. For a moment, I thought Reen had lost control of the ether. Luckily, we managed to avoid any major disasters, from what I can tell. Combining the contrasting powers of different primals, that seems an awful lot like the ultimate weapon. In any case, I'm pleased to see that you were as successful here as you were at the Praetorian. Yeah, it was. Not quite the same thing, Sancred, but close enough. That two such ferocious beings should meld into a single entity is frightful indeed. Further research must needs be performed to fully comprehend this unexpected phenomenon. That was incredible. I never imagined that you would that they would fuse together like that, but you took them down all the same. I suppose the main thing is that we're now two elements closer to restoring the ether of the empty. Let's go and see what difference it's made. And now it's raining. And the crystal's got both fire and wind wind aspects to it. It actually worked, just like Ariane said it would. Everything we could have hoped for. Indeed, our endeavors have been repaid manifold. I wonder what will happen when we restore ice. That is the last one we need. Is something the matter? One more element. And then what? You'll have achieved the impossible while I'll still be nothing. No memory, no past, no family, nothing. The world has moved on and left me behind. Anyone who ever knew me is either dead or gone. So, Almighty Eden, you can mend this broken world, but you can't restore one girl's memories? Well, to be fair, I don't think it can do that. Give me my life back, damn you. I still hunger. Uh-oh. Extinguish the accursed light. Awaken our true power. Enough riddles. Tell me who I am. You are... I am... Gaia. Gaia, what's wrong? Reclaim your memories. Fulfill your destiny. I don't understand. Gaia, can you hear me? Get away from me. Amidst the sound of falling rain, your voice called from within. Long after the rain passed, your voice echoed on. Just get it over with, would you? Poor Gaia. If the fairy lives inside her, why would it let her suffer like this? I wish there was something we could do to help. Pray be on thy guard, my friend. Gaia may yet relinquish control to the voice within. Heart of Darkness. Thancred is looking particularly chipper despite the heavy rainfall. This doesn't look like ice. What is this? Well, this downpour is precisely the result we were hoping for. The novelty of standing outside in the rain does wear off rather quickly. Not to mention, Gaia's looking a bit under the weather. Let's continue this conversation in Eden's core. Ooh, but the fire's lit. We have fire. Though the rain may put it out. We actually have a fire. Hey, we have fire. I'm not sure what's going on with Gaia, but it's certainly a cause for concern. Perhaps this is the fairy making itself known. What does it want? What do I want it to tell me? Now that I think about it, I don't really know all that much about Eden. Since we need to find out how it's connected to Gaia, I should try to understand it at a deeper level. To be honest, there isn't much I can do. Ere we set forth to restore the element of ice, I would discuss the manner in which the summoning shall be undertaken. Just tell me one thing. Is this going to bring the empty back to the way it was before the flood? While none can say for certain, the change we have observed at points of ethereal intersection doth give us cause for optimism. It may be reasonably assumed that the empty shall continue to transform and, in the decades to come, regain a semblance of its former state. Decades? I don't think you've quite grasped the sheer scale of the damage left in the wake of the flood. It would have swallowed the entire world if Infilia hadn't stopped it. Even if Reen has inherited her blessing, wounds like that don't heal overnight. After all, the empty has been utterly devoid of life for 100 years. And it might take even longer than that to bring life back. I don't expect immediate results, but I do know that it will stay like this forever unless we do something about it. My sentiments precisely. Only once the final element is restored shall we have a glimpse of the future that awaiteth those of generations yet to come. You do all this for a world you may not live long enough to see? Well, here I am, so absorbed in my own problems that I spare barely a thought for anyone besides myself. For so long I've listened to that voice telling me what to do, who to be. I was so scared of what might happen if I disobeyed. But I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to be me. Who am I? What am I? Perhaps it's better if I never find out. Reen's the Oracle of Light, here to mend this broken world. What does that make me? Gaia, the Oracle of Darkness, bringer of misery and death. A monster. It's no wonder they left me. Mother, father, and next it'll be all of you. Then I'll be back where I started, where I've always been, alone. Gaia, is it the fairy? What's wrong? Afraid I might lose control and ruin your carefully laid plans? No, it's you I'm worried about. Reen, I'm going outside to clear my head. You just do what you need to do, all right? Something's wrong. I know it. That much is clear. If we have a repeat of her first visit to Eden, we may even be joined by those void-sent friends of hers. If you go and see what Guy is doing, Urianger and I will stay with Reen. My name is Gaia. That's what you said, isn't it? Eden. The flood. What does it all mean? No, it can't be. Is this what it's been waiting for all this time? Finally, you remember. Ah, what is this? The darkness that dwells within you, Gaia. Huh. The accursed spawn of light are drawn to it like moths to a flame. Pathetic, mindless sin eaters. No, the time of awakening has come. Myrokos, three senseless sin eaters. What's happened? Don't try to fight them, just bring Gaia back inside. Quickly now. She is unconscious. What entity is this that should hold a horde of sin eaters in its thrall, and to what end? She's in a bad way, but at least she doesn't seem to have lost control. What's happened to her? That's a concern for later. First, we must deal with those sin eaters. Myrokos, if thou wouldst care to repel our assailants without, I would task Thancred with standing guard within. I shall tend to Gaia meanwhile. I'm not sure if there's much Eden can do to help, but I'll try to keep it steady. Well, Uriandre watches over Gaia. I'll tend to any eaters that can slip inside. Whereas before 'twas Gaia who sought to destroy Eden, on this occasion she hath become the target. And she's unconscious through all of it. Okay, iconoclasm. The last one for this second installment in the Eden Raid series. Okay, and for the last part of this installment, Idol of Darkness.
So many of them.
Okay.
But nothing we can't handle.
No. Um, no. Whoa! God damn it, I thought I was trying to get it into the center there, but then it suddenly reversed and put me away. I don't get that. Ooh. Okay, so it... Ooh. Okay, so there were two of those and we took everyone out. Maybe a healer LB3? I don't know. I mean, I'm dead, so anything as a result of this won't really... oh. Wipe. I need 10%. Will Venti be able to do that? It's a paladin, so I don't know. Yep. Alright, so don't double stack. Thought I dodged that. On the bright side, I've dodged this mechanic. Let me give myself a little stat boost. Oh. Well, I got that time. Ooh. I'm not understand how to dodge that. Do you need... Blue first. Run! I was all alone on that one, so that's why I died, but at least we were separate. Did the tank seriously just jump off the edge? Okay, he did. Whew. So that happened. Interior secure. With the eaters gone, I thought that Gaia might show some sign of improvement, but she hasn't so much as stirred. Sin Eater's drawn to the Oracle of Darkness, just as she herself was drawn to Eden first and foremost among their kind. She is unconscious. She won't wake up. What do we do? What is this place? Where is everyone? So I'm all alone. Even the fairy is gone. Endless silence, endless darkness. Is this what death feels like? It's no use. No one can hear me. How ironic. All those times I wanted peace and quiet, and now that I finally have it, I wish I had someone to talk to. I thought I couldn't stand to be around them. All their interfering and fussing, and yet I was never lonely. But it's no use. Even after everything we went through, my memories still won't come back. There is no future awaiting me, only emptiness. Those memories, they can stay lost forever. If only this pain will leave me. Uh-oh. Now I close my eyes and sink into darkness. And then I'll suffer no more. Gaia! That'll be Reen. Mother? Father? Wake up! Yep, that's Reen. I understand now. Why wait for tomorrow to claim us? Gaia, can you hear me? The perfect moment that never has to end. I'm not giving up on you, Gaia. Say something. What do you want? Please, I'm begging you. Remember all the things we said we'd do, like going to the second serving for coffee and biscuits. I never... Gaia? I never agreed to anything of the sort. Oh, thank goodness. I was so worried about you. Do you have to be so loud? The fairy fell silent, only to be replaced by Reen's voice ringing through my head. I never thought I would be so glad to hear it. Whatever that thing was, it was able to control a vast swarm of sin eaters, much like Vothri. Then again, it's clearly nothing like a light warden. In any case, it's gone now. I just hope it stays gone. We still don't know exactly what happened, but at least the danger is past for now. Though Gaia hath regained consciousness, I surmise that it shall be some time before she is fully recovered from her ordeal. Oh, so we actually are doing that. I thought... Oh no, wait. My mistake, this is 3. I thought that was... So yeah, there is... So yeah, here's the 4th one, here's the ice one. Guys, recent ordeal, my mistake on that one being the last one. It just felt like the last one, but that's only because we did 2 elements at the same time. Otherwise, it would have been the last one. Okay, on thin ice, guys, recent ordeals have left her rather more subdued than usual. Last one, here we go. You've all gone through a lot of trouble on my part. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Anyway, I've delayed you for long enough. Please carry on with what you came to do. I'm glad you're back to your usual self, but how are you feeling? Much better now, but something is still bothering me. The fairy spoke to me in a dream, and a stream of memories rushed through my mind, and I don't recall anything like this happening before. and I'm not sure what it all means. What sort of memories? I can't make any sense of them. They were only brief flashes seen through someone else's eyes. At least that's what it felt like. Minfilia, that is the Oracle of Light, once served Hydaelyn as the word of the Mother. If the Oracle of Darkness is her counterpart under Zodiark, then we had best prepare ourselves for the worst. Aye, the Knight's return did tip the ethereal balance towards activity, which may have served to awaken the fragment of his power in the first. Having thus roused, he did then fix his gaze upon she who had been marked by darkness, Gaia. Marked or no, Gaia is still her own person. Everything all right? It's nothing. Anyway, let's forget about all that for now. There will be plenty of time to think it through once the last element's restored. If thou believest thyself well enough, then I see no reason for delay. Let us forthwith attend to the revitalization of ice. Shiva, then. Myrokos is the only one here to have actually seen the primal. Perhaps you could describe her for us. A woman named Azael made herself a vessel for Shiva. She and the Great One Racevalker shared an undying bond. Ooh, which one do we use? Because they're both true. Oh! Heaven's Word music. Oh, that hurts. Oh. Well, the question was about the primal. So she summoned into her body the imagined essence of someone who lived over 1,000 years ago? That such a thing should be possible. The long since departed Shiva was a source of great inspiration to Azael, whose method of summoning differed greatly from any we had previously encountered. By the echo did she bear witness to the deeds of the noble Shiva, and thus was she moved to dedicate her being to that selfsame cause. 'Twas this devotion that granted her the power of a primal. So she was able to control it herself. Not getting any funny ideas, are you? Just thinking aloud, that's all. Anyway, we'd better get going. Our journey leadeth to the great glacier situated in the northernmost region of the Empty. To a great glacier in the northernmost region of the Empty. Okay. I'll get us there as quickly as I can. It's time to draw out the ether. I was thinking that I should go with you this time. I want to be the vessel for Shiva. Being still and passive by nature, ice is the element that most strongly aligned to light. I'll need to get close and use my own abilities as well as Eden's to draw it out, so that the Oracle of Light become the Oracle of Ice. I cannot claim to be in favor of this stratagem, and yet the primal we encountered in the source was summoned in much the same manner. The inherent advantages are undeniable. Absolutely not. Absolutely out of the question. Have you forgotten what Myrokos does to the primals we summon? I'm not about to stand and watch as he and Reen beat the tar out of each other. In any case, the ether only returns to the empty once the creature's been slain, although it seems you haven't taken that into consideration. Presumably there's a safer way to disperse it, but it's still far too risky. I thought you had more sense, Reen. But it's not as bad as it sounds. Were the deiform entity as volatile as the primals we have previously summoned, it would be logical to assume that in her role as conduit, Reen would be hard-pressed to retain control. Myrokos would have no recourse but to defend himself by any means necessary, else his life be forfeit. I know it's dangerous, but I can't let that hold me back. Please, I've got to try. But I don't see why this is even necessary in the first place. You never had to take risks like this for the other elements. Eden possesses almost infinite power, but what would happen if it began acting without my intervention? If it started to feed on the ether just like other Sin Eaters, it would undo all of our hard work. Isn't that an argument for you to stay here? It is a disconcerting eventuality and one which cannot be dismissed. I'm worried that even if we realign the elements, things will eventually return to how they were following the flood. But if I train Eden how to nurture the environment rather than drain the life from it, we can leave it to take care of the empty in our place. I'll channel the ether through myself and show Eden how it's done. This isn't some house pet we're dealing with. If it all goes wrong, then what? I know this all sounds like I'm taking a leap of faith, but it has been a gamble every step of the way. We've managed to come this far because of faith in ourselves and in each other. I've made my feelings on the matter perfectly clear. What say you, Myrokos? With my memories to guide the summoning, what could possibly go wrong? I'll hold back as much as possible. Reen, I suppose that if you've got your heart set on this, there's no point trying to dissuade you. Just don't do anything reckless. Is that clear? As crystal. This is going to work, I promise. I'll make sure of it. Well, for all our sakes, I certainly hope so, because if the primal takes over, it'll be fine. With all of you by my side, I know that whatever happens, it'll work out in the end. All of us? I hope you're not including me. I can't even deal with my own problems, never mind yours. It's enough to just knowing you're here. Anyway, I've decided to take a leaf out of your book. I do what I want, when I want. I've made my decision, so now I have to see it through. Yes, but this is a different kettle of fish altogether. Well, the point is that this is what I want, and I'll do whatever it takes to make it work. Okay, we're ending on Shiva. This is good. So this is how much it means to you. Memories of Shiva envelop your mind. I don't know how, but I can see here too, this might actually work. With so many things left to chance, all I can do is wait and pray. Do you think the 12 can hear me here in the first? Both the Vale and the Archbishop Thornton offered their corporeal forms as vessels into which the likeness of preeminent figures from Ishgardian history were projected. However, the nature in which each met their demise is perhaps best not dwelled upon. So she's not just waiting for the future to arrive, but actually trying to change it. I think Eden is sending your thoughts to me. I see Zale and Shiva. They only wanted peace, a land where dragon and mankind could live side by side. Yep. Okay, and here we go. Last one. For real this time.
I call upon the power of Shiva. Control! You've got to stop her!
Fools. You would stoke the fires of conflict.
The light shall usher in peace. Such impudence! Resplendent ice, grant me strength. Shatter! Your blood shall freeze!
Was that supposed to be the end? Uh-oh.
Shatter!
Oh.
The light shall usher in peace. Such impudence!
Oh, come on.
Tranquility must be restored to the land.
Light consume you. Impudence! Resplendent ice, grant me strength. The light shall usher in peace.
Ah, why do you keep getting stunned and it's supposed to be...
Such power! I can't! The light! It's too much for her to bear! Ugh, she won't last much longer! Enough of this! Power of darkness, answer my call! Ugh! Ugh! Yeah! Damn this light! Damn it all! I won't give up! Not on my future! Our future! I want to see what tomorrow will bring!
Well, this is fun. Huh. Hmm. Oh, there's a wind up green. Need. Oh, I didn't get the wind up green. I'll just have to. I'll just have to run it again and get the minion that time. You were there. I heard you. What happened to Shiva? Is she still in control? No, she's gone. But Gaia? What? That hammer. It matches your dress. Huh. I see you're back to your normal idiotic self. Look, isn't it pretty? Maybe we could take it with us. Ice tends to melt, you know. Not this sort. Well, if you say so. Anyway, it might even make a nice necklace. That's a brilliant idea. Wilt thou not rush to her aid? Perhaps I'm getting slow in my old age, because it would seem Gaia's beaten me to it. To think that she would be the one to break the ice. They may have gotten off to a rocky start, but I think they'll make quite the pair. Is that a hint of melancholy I detect in thy voice? Something akin to a pining mother bird whose chicks have flown the nest? Father bird, if you don't mind, but you're not entirely wrong. Still, when the day finally comes to say goodbye, it hardens me to know she won't be alone. After that, we can go to the second serving for coffee biscuit. Fine, you win, and if they're anything less than perfection itself, I'll never let you live it down. If they're not to your liking, there are plenty of other things to try. I suppose we both deserve a little treat after all that hard work. We certainly do. Yeah. There we were, laughing as if we had not a care in the world. Fleeting though it was, in that moment I was content. But my life was never meant to be so simple. I let myself get a little carried away there, but I was definitely the one controlling my powers, not the other way around. Even so, I hope I never have to use them again. I've had my share of those close shaves, but that was terrifying, to put it mildly. I can only hope the end justifies the means. Ice, being most naturally aligned to light among all elements, did interact with Reen's innate gifts in ways unforeseen. Were we not graced with the timely appearance of the Oracle of Darkness, I fear that this tale would have ended somewhat prematurely. I'm so sorry, everyone. I clearly have a long way to go before I can handle that kind of power. But we achieved what we set out to do, and I had faith we would. So without further ado, let us return to camp and admire our work. Oh, it's green now. Or at least a little bit of it is. It's life. It feels like I'm witnessing the miracle performed by Minfilia 100 years ago all over again. Wait, again? What do you mean by again? Let me know what you think she means by again in the comments. All this greenery, it's far more than I had dared hope. I can't help but worry that it's too good to be true. The rapid propagation of flora appeareth to be limited to the intersections of ethereal channels, as per our earlier findings. Nonetheless, it's cause to rejoice that the seeds of ether have quickened in the barren garden that is the empty. Life finds a way. Reen is ecstatic to see the first signs of greenery in the empty. I can feel all the revitalized elements working in harmony. I've always believed Eden had the power to restore the empty, but I never expected it to happen so quickly. You're the one who made all this possible. I think we owe it all to Gaia's skill with the hammer. I never did get the hang of summoning primals correctly. Let Reen have her moment. We ran into a few problems with Shiva, to say the least, but the others all went more or less according to plan. That we were able to come so far along this arduous journey may rightly be attributed to thine unwavering resolve. When you said that you'd reclaim this world, you truly meant it. We're proud of you, Reen. Yes, we are. I wonder if the effects from the rebalanced ether will spread to the rest of the empty. Perhaps we'll just have to wait and see. Besides, I'm sure we could all do with a rest. I must say, Reen, it's refreshing to see you take a more measured approach for a change. Well, if my experience here has taught me anything, it's that I shouldn't rush into things unprepared. And I've also learned that there are some problems that can't be solved alone. Is that so? Since you freed me from Yulmore, I've met all sorts of kind people who've gone out of their way to help me. I thought that I should do everything in my power to repay their kindness and make the world a better place. But now, more than ever, I realize that there's a limit to what I can achieve by myself. Even though I was able to summon Shiva, I couldn't control such vast amounts of ether. If Gaia hadn't been there for me, I might never have returned to normal. I could say the same about you. I was trapped in a nightmare, but you freed me. It seems we're more alike than I thought. We might not be able to do everything by ourselves, but if we look out for each other, then we can face our problems together. That's if you don't mind. No, it's fine, really. If things don't work out, we can always go our separate ways. But on the other hand, if I can resist the urge to punch you whenever you annoy me, which I must say is quite often, I have no objection to staying around. You mean it? Oh, thank you, Gaia. May I suggest that we continue the conversation in Amarang, though the MT may now supporteth foliage, the land's normalization hath but begun, and to linger over long still entaileth risks. Is aught the matter, Thancred? Nothing you need worry about. Let's go. Our encampment remaineth in its present state. For our anticipated return, I cannot help but wonder how the land may change in our absence. To think that Reen is the same girl I rescued from Yulmore. Compared to the way she was back then, the difference is like night and day. Off to Mordsuk, are we? I can't say I care for the place. The marketplace reminds me of Yulmore, but instead of fine delicacies they peddle, well, I don't want to know what they are exactly. What I do know is they're far too wriggly for my liking. Perhaps, no, before we do anything else, we should report to Yalfort. He'll want to know how we've been getting on in the MT. Speaking of Mordsuk, there was a snack of some sort that caught my eye last time. I can't quite describe it, but it looked squidgy. Despite a strong suspicion that I may live to regret it, I'd like to try one. Oh, I think I know the one you mean. They might not be much to look at, but I bet they taste amazing. Perhaps we could also try a pot of those jellied wrigglers, or whatever they're called. I'll even let you take the first bite. You, no thank you. First coffee biscuits, now worms and jelly. Heavens forbid the two of you might actually eat some proper food. Myrokos, may I ask a favor of thee? Whilst Thancred and I return unto the Crystarium to inform our comrades of our recent exploits, I would have thee accompany Reen and Gaia to Mordsuk. Okay. So we now have plant life at our base camp. Not much to look at right now, but little bit by little bit it's getting better. I just realized that was a little water well. Okay. I'm looking forward to showing Gaia around the Crystarium, but we'd better finish our work here first. I'm prepared to give this moored fair a try, although I should probably shut my eyes when I do, and my nose, come to think of it. I trust all is well, Miss Gaia. It will be once we get out of this desert town. If I have to spend another night in that dingy little room, I shall scream. I'm terribly sorry to hear that the accommodation was less than satisfactory. I'll investigate the availability of more comfortable lodgings post-haste. Yes, I think we'll be staying in Mordsuk, at least for the time being. It might take a while for me to write the report, as our expedition was rather eventful. Myrokos, I really appreciate everything you've done, and I'm sorry for all the trouble I've put you through. Still fretting about that, are you? What's done is done. Besides, it all worked out in the end, didn't it? You're right. Now's not the time to, now how about that treat we promised ourselves? They might not have coffee biscuits here, but I've heard the regular cakes are to die for. Or was that you'll die from eating them? Only one way to find out, I guess. I'm sure trying the local delicacies will keep us occupied between writing reports and thinking about the next plan of action. Hopefully we'll have another chance to visit the empty to see how things are coming along. And don't even think about leaving me behind. Okay, so that's the end of patch 5.2's questing for Eden. If you liked what you saw at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells. And I shall see you anon, friends. When next we for this part, well, this will be part of the raid series, but at this point, if you're watching this chronologically, then the next part of this following the Shadowbringers questing will likely be the 5.3 MSQ, so that we try to keep things apace. With that, I shall see you anon, friends.